Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL 44 coming at you another video. All right, I want to do a quick video, even though I'm rushing around trying to get to where I'm going today. But I did have a few things Laker-wise on my mind. First of all, I'm in agreement with those who think that the Lakers are trying to posture trade-wise right now. We just brought up the names Tyus Jones. I think it was Dave McMenamin who released the names Tyus Jones and Colin Sexton as players the Lakers are interested in picking up. I think that there's a good chance the Lakers probably don't want those guys at all. Now, I think Tyus Jones is playing fantastic. He's finally getting a chance to show what he can do in a starting role, albeit with the Washington Wizards, who have like 3 wins or 4 wins, whatever the hell they have. But nevertheless, he's playing really, really good ball right now, so I'm sure his value is up. And Colin Sexton is healthy. And we know the young bull is a baller. He played great against us in that Utah matchup. When he's healthy, he's a ferocious two-way guy who puts a lot of effort and energy into his play. So I would love to acquire him independently. Somewhere down the road, especially if he can prove he can stay healthy for multiple seasons in a row. Right now, you're taking a gamble because you don't know if the knee can go bad again. But right now, he's playing as if that knee is 100%, and it's probably a good time to buy low on him for someone. But I don't think the Lakers want those two guys. I think the Lakers are trying to tell the Hawks and the Chicago Bulls, of whom they would like to do a deal with, that you're going to have to stop posturing against us. We have leverage here. We can just simply do another deal and be pleased with that. I hear that there's a 0% chance the Lakers are willing to get Zach LaVine. I think it's a 0% chance the Lakers are willing to get Zach LaVine because I think it's a 0% chance that the Bulls will up the offer to a point where we would otherwise take that contract. 0% chance. Because if the Lakers are thinking like me, they're going to have to throw in some 2 or 3 unprotected first-round picks to make me take that horrible contract from them. Because once I get that contract, I don't think anybody's going to want to take it from me. So I'm stuck with it. And while Zach LaVine is a nice player, if he's making $25 million, maybe even $30 million for what it is you expect him to do when he's at his best. But coupled with what he's been looking like when he's hurt, coupled with how the teams played around him, coupled with the fact that we knew that contract was bad when he signed it, all of these different things just tell me that the Chicago Bulls are going to have to pay me to take it. And while they have some personnel that I would be willing to take, I also understand that they got that Lonzo Ball pick on their books that they cannot get rid of as well, so I'm taxing them for that. So this is a situation where I'm not only looking at Zach LaVine, but I'm looking at the sum of their parts as it pertains to negotiations, and I'm telling you, you need to get rid of that salary to even get close enough to being any good because you can't get rid of Lonzo Ball. So give me 3 or 2, maybe I don't fleece them to the point like I'm Masai Ujiri or something, but 2 unprotected first-round picks and Alex Caruso, and I'll be willing to match salary for Zach LaVine and Alex Caruso, and that's how I would do it. Some people are high on Andre Drummond. I'm not. I don't have any interest in bringing in Drummond. I understand the interest in bringing in a backup center, but I'm out on Drummond. I remember how he looked against us. I remember some of his weaknesses. I remember him missing layups and grabbing his own boards and turning the ball over and playing no defense. I'm cool on that guy, and I know he's rebounding like a madman once again. He's in good shape, and that should be considered. But I'm cool. Me personally, I'm gonna want unprotected first-round picks. I don't want none of them trash contracts y'all keep giving the players that don't perform in your uniform. I don't want none of that. Give me Alex Caruso. Give me that horrible Zach LaVine contract. And I want 2 unprotected first-round picks. Unprotected fully. Because y'all could suck. And it could be the first overall pick one day. So for me, it's like, that's the only way I'm taking Zach LaVine. I don't have any interest in anything else they got. At all. I'm cool. Like, Chicago can't do nothing for me. And if I'm Chicago, I'm not going to do that. You see what I'm saying? So it's a 0% chance. Now, that's just my speculation. Maybe the Lakers value something Chicago has a little differently. Maybe they value, Drummond a little more. Maybe they want Chicago to throw in more, and I think that's the point I'm trying to make. But more for me, first, unprotected. Throw them over. 2 or 3, nothing short. 1 ain't going to get it done. 1 will not get it done. I'm going to need draft equity from Chicago because I know that contract is that bad in the market. And that player is that iffy in winning situations. So that nah. That's a double negative as far as I can tell. I'm cool. I don't care if he fits or not. That's not the point. That ain't the point. I mean, the fit is great, and I can find something else that fits too. And I think that's the point of this Tyus Jones and Colin Sexton, because it's like we can find other stuff. Now, as far as DeJounte Murray, from what I understand, the word out on the street is that the Lakers were unwilling to give up Austin Reeves in the final conversations about DeJounte Murray. I don't think the word final really is out there. I just put those words out there, but that's what I heard. The last time they talked, it was no Austin for DeJounte in any framework that we would be willing to take back. I have no problem with that, man. Because at the end of the day, I just think of Austin Reeves as a big-time playoff performer. He may have some issues defensively, but we're seeing what he can do in certain situations. He plays great off the bench. He plays great as a starter. Only thing he really can't do is defend, and he's such a fantastic executing player, and we really need good, high-executing players. Now, could things shift around once we bring in certain guards? If you bring in the wrong guard, you might change his role to a point where you don't need the same things from him, et cetera, et cetera. It could change things, but for right now, I think the Lakers are pretty content on keeping him out of trade talks. For no other reason than we like the player, but even more so as well for posturing. We're not going to capitulate. You know what I mean? Just that's the point. Posturing is necessary in this negotiation market. So that's what I think of that situation. DeJounte hit a game winner last night. The Hawks are higher on him than they ever have. He's played his trade value all the way up. I just don't think he's a feasible player to pick up right now. His price is too high. They have the leverage with the way that he's playing to ask for more, and I ain't giving it to him. I'm not sending Austin Reeves to the Hawks. What else have I been hearing? There's a few things going on as well with the Lakers. I think that was the basis of my conversation, though, to let people know what I think. I think it was Trevor Lane who said this morning that he felt that Tyus Jones and Colin Sexton was out there just because the Lakers are trying to get the Hawks and the Chicago Bulls to up their ante. And I agree. I don't think we really want those players, not seriously. We might make a deal to acquire one of those guys, but it'd probably be other stuff that would be the focal point of the deal. They would actually be throw-ins, in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, the Lakers need athleticism, and neither one of them dudes are going to be in that category. But I will say, take a look at Tyus Jones' numbers this year, because he is playing great in a leading role with the Washington Wizards. He's playing great right now. And Colin Sexton, of course, we just saw him. So we got a game up against the Brooklyn Nets coming up. Really excited about another opportunity at a 3-game winning streak, since we haven't had one in a while. The Brooklyn Nets aren't that great of a basketball team right now. They just lost at the buzzer on I think it was a Anthony Simons teardrop, I believe was the type of shot that he hit basically with like 0.2 seconds to go or something like that. Really knocked them out of there. And that's the energy they're coming in with in our building. Maybe a little demoralized, maybe a little determined. I don't know, but they're not a very good team right now, despite Mikal Bridges playing really good ball over the last week or so. He's been great for my fantasy team lately. So, these are the type of things that just flowing through my mind as we consider the Los Angeles Lakers. Listening to Trevor and the young fella, they were talking about Nick Richards and his contract and maybe trying to do some things with the Charlotte Hornets, and I think Charlotte is really interesting to me. Nick Richards' contract sounds extremely attractive if he can be a good player for us. $5 million a year for like 3 years, that's interesting to me. So long as we can give him the role that makes sense. If you can have a great contract attached to me, and suddenly it's not a great contract because the player ain't no good. You feel me? So we got to make sure we're looking at both sides of the coin. But for me, if I'm looking at the Charlotte Hornets, from what I understand, they only have 3 players that they're not allowing to be involved in trade conversations, which is interesting to me. Mark Williams, Brandon Miller, and of course LaMelo Ball. Everybody else they're putting up. That means Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, Terry Rozier. They're interested in moving just about everything they have. So, for me, that's interesting because I'm a P.J. Washington guy. I think P.J. Washington is a guy, I don't know what his contract looks like. I'm not really sure. I'd have to look at that side of the coin. But the player himself, I think he's somewhat of you would consider him an upgrade from Christian Wood. Not to say that I'm moving Christian Wood, but I can slap them next to each other and have a nice backup backcourt, or even start P.J. Washington in certain situations, depending on how the lineup shakes out. But he can play some center. You can count on him to block a shot or two. He can stretch the floor. You can count on his ceiling to go all the way up to 42 points. He does have injury issues and things of that nature, but he's also in Charlotte, not really rejuvenated, etc. I would love to get P.J. Washington on this basketball team. I think he would be a fantastic center for the Lakers, power forward for the Lakers, who can do some things on both sides of the floor, which is very important. Terry Rozier is always a good player, but he's always on the injury report. That's the problem with Terry Rowe. He can play, but I guess it's because he plays so hard. He often finds himself hurt a lot. But when he's out there, he's usually a high volume scorer, active defender, as we've known for years. And I would love to have him on a good contract. Unfortunately, I don't think his contract's any good. But for what it is that he brings to the table, just like Colin Sexton, you want him on the team. In a world of a different kind, I would love to acquire Terry Rozier and Colin Sexton. I think those are winners. I think those are players that play hard, and I think those are exactly the type of dudes that LeBron James plays well off of, which is why picking up Colin Sexton in some way wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And same goes for Terry Rozier. I just think that you get those type of players on this team, and you're going to look up and you're going to be a monstrous out in the playoffs. Significantly more difficult to get out right than you are right now. So while they don't fit athleticism, what they do is attack on the defensive end, hit big shots, and play hard. They're diving all over the floor. Both of them have a fire about them that is unmatched. And if all else fails, I would love for the Lakers to do something like that. If you could turn D'Lo and someone else into Colin Sexton and Terry Rozier, a little small, but they're going to play bigger than they are, and Terry's going to hit big shots, and Colin's going to go nuts. So, like, both of them kind of injury prone. You got to imagine a world where they're not on the floor very much, too, because they both have their injury issues. But when they're both right, it's going to be tough to beat them, man. You put them both on the same team, it's going to be tough to beat them. I'm telling you, very, very tough to beat them. So I would love for the Lakers to acquire Terry Rozier and Colin Sexton in a perfect world, for which I don't think we're in. And I don't think it answers certain questions that we need to answer, like how are we going to defend De'Aaron Fox. I don't think it answers that necessarily, but it does give you big shot makers, both of them. I'm almost on low-key wanting the Lakers to kind of do something like that. You just bring me some dogs, man. And I can't think of two better backcourt dogs in my mind than them. I can't. Colin Sexton, Young Bull, and Terry Rowe. So I would love to do a deal with the Charlotte Hornets, man. I'm kind of cool on the Gordon Hayward contract, although he's a high-level vet, very high level. He's still playing at a high level to this very second, and I would not doubt that he would come in and give us a significant upgrade from Taurean Prince if he were to play that role. Significant upgrade is what Gordon Hayward is going to be, but his contract's always bad, and it ain't gotten no better. He's still making like $30 million a year. I'm cool on that, but if he could just get bought out and we could slip him into the Taurean Prince role, we'll be so pleased we did that. I got a name that I've been throwing around for a while, although he's going to be an expiring contract at like $25 or $35 million, so I don't know about that. But I think a guy like Tobias Harris is really interesting to me. Just because, again, upgrade the Taurean Prince role. Put him in at small forward, big body, like body in regards to like Bron James, Rui Hachimura. He's like an upgrade from Rui Hachimura and Taurean Prince. It looks like we'll be able to possibly keep Rui Hachimura out of some of these trades. I want to keep getting guys that are that size. Put so many big dudes next to Vando, Bron, AD, who can run the floor, be good executing three-point shooters, solid defender, although I don't know about Tobias Harris's defense. And I know he's probably going to be one and done. He's probably going to exit left as soon as the season ends for a bigger contract. But when you talk about trying to win a championship in a win-now situation, I think a guy like Tobias Harris, you bring him in immediately and bring him into the fold of what we do. Again, tough out. Very tough out. So I'm just looking to upgrade Taurean Prince. I like Taurean Prince as a shooter, but he's going to have to be pushed down the depth chart if we want to win a championship, man. We can't keep having Darvin Ham running him at 20 and 30, 25 and 35 minutes a game. It's not going to work, man. He keeps putting him in front of these superstars, asking them to defend him. I don't know what's wrong with Darvin when it comes to this, but I need to remove that from him. We can't. It was just like we talked about in regards to three small players last year when we had those little point guards running around. We can't keep letting coach have this option. We got to remove certain options from him. This is why I'm low-key, at this point, kind of glad Cam Reddish is not on the floor, because he keeps overusing Cam Reddish in the wrong roles and then asking Cam Reddish to do the wrong things. It affects other players. I don't know that I trade Cam Reddish, but I also don't know that I don't trade Cam Reddish, because I like how our roster looks without Cam Reddish right now. Do you understand what I mean? Definitely value Cam Reddish as a player, but I do not like the way our coach uses him, and I definitely don't like the way our coach uses Taurean Prince. So these are the type of things. It's like, yo, if we can upgrade certain areas, remove certain options from Darvin Ham so he can't do some of this dumb stuff that he loves to do, then we'll by default fall into being a very good team, because he's going to always limit us with certain things that he wants to do that just doesn't work at all. And we all know that. Everybody in Laker Nation knows that. So, yeah, even when you win, in the last game we loved beating the Dallas Mavericks, but Taurean Prince was on the floor entirely too much in the first half, doing nothing but fouling, bricking shots, and getting cooked. Stop this. Get us a small forward who can actually play the role that coach wants Torian to play at a much higher level, so we don't have these problems. And so that's what I got to say, man. That is really where we're at. I don't think we've solved two very key issues with some of the things that I've brought up here. How the hell are we going to guard De'Aaron Fox? Because if we run the Sacramento Kings, he's going to go for 40 every time. And players like that. And how are we going to guard Jokic and Embiid if we run into them? We don't have that big body player. A lot of people want to bring in Clint Capella. Clint Capella at $20 million is a no-go. You're probably likely going to have to move Rui and D'Lo to bring in Clint Capella. And like I said, they're not interested in moving Murray. So if they're not giving me Murray, I'm not giving them nothing. So that's kind of how that goes. The Clint Capella thing is about the contract, not necessarily the player. I just do not want to pay him $20 million for the next 2 years. No-go. So, you know, these are the things we're talking about right now, man. Of course, I got to get myself in the shower because I got somewhere to be at 1 o'clock and it's already 10:30 and I haven't eaten breakfast yet. None of that. So, and it's going to take me an hour to get there. So I got to go. But I did want to make this video while I was considering it. I'm sure there's so much more to consider. I hope the Lakers are not short-sighted in regards to how well some of our players have been playing over the last 2 games and are saying, no, we don't have to make a move. Yes, we do need to make a move because we're going to run into some of these teams that we cannot defend and we're going to get knocked off and reality's going to hit. So that's the reality of it, man. Still need to make moves, still need to make trades, but some of the trades that we think may have been possible, like DeJounte Murray, probably are not looking probable right now. And so that's pretty much what I got to say, man. Zach LaVine, you better come with like 2 or 3 first-rounders, bro. Unprotected. We going to make them pay. We going to make them pay because ain't no way they about to just hand us that garbage contract when I believe they signed that contract with the intentions of offloading it off to somebody else. And especially with Lonzo Ball in your books, and I know you need to get that off of there. Nah, you going to give me some picks or that thing's going to stay with you. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.